We're going to actually. Can we open the floodgates or no?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. I'm doing it. Move forward, please, people. Single pound. Sorry. So this way you can see the thing close. So basically, we're going to set up a few scenarios for you here. We have some models for you guys to photograph, some actors. Profoto was nice enough to loan us a bunch of lights, so you guys get to use some really cool equipment. Hopefully you have a good camera. If not, or a bad camera, or some camera.
They can borrow mine.
Or you can use Cliff's camera if you'd like. So we're going to set up a couple scenarios in here, and then Cliff is going to take people outside with the Profoto A1, which if you haven't seen it yet, he's going to run through it a little bit. Yep. And this is Cliff from Profoto. Tell us all about it.
Okay. Hello, folks. As he mentioned, I'm Cliff Hausner from Profoto. I want to give you a little bit of a history of this product. Our company's been working on it for probably close to 2 years, I'd say. When they first came to me and they asked me about creating an on-camera flash, I must have given them kind of a little bit of a weird look because they said to me, what's the problem? And I said, well, I have some issues with on-camera lights or on-camera flashes. And the problem that I have with them is two main things. One is that they're very, very hard to use, and the quality of light out of them is not what I look for. So I'm used to dealing with studio lighting, and so they came back to us about 3 months ago, and they said, here's the box, you go figure it out. They didn't tell me how to use it, they didn't give me any instructions on it. So what I'd like to do with you is to go through the unboxing and exactly what I had to go through in order to figure out, and how quickly and easy it was to figure out what it is. And then also at the very, very end, later on, I'll show you some of the shots that I did with this. So A1, I opened up the box, they literally gave it to me. They used me as the lowest common denominator. Like if I can figure it out, pretty much anybody can. So open up the box, and I took out the A1. And the first thing that I noticed when I opened it, unlike other lights that I've seen, it has a round front on it. So I'm thinking that maybe they solved one of the issues that I have. The big issue that I have is that the quality of light issue, so maybe this round front is solving that. The next thing I noticed is that on the front of it, it has a battery. And the battery is a removable battery. The battery is a lithium-ion battery, and I later found out that it gives you 350 flashes at full power, and at the lower power settings, it gives you in the thousands of images. So two things that were later on impressive to me, but when I got it, I didn't know. On the side of it, I noticed that it has a TTL switch to go from TTL to manual. The reason that was awesome to me is because I figured maybe they got rid of all those menu systems and all the things that became difficult for me to understand when I'm using these other units. So I pressed in this button, and I figured out that if I turn the dial, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I turn the dial, and it basically comes on. One of the things you can even see at this distance is how amazing the back of the display is and how easy it is to see. So it's really simple. It's the simplest light that I've used in terms of ease of use. This is very much like all other Profoto gear, so I figured, okay, I can figure this out. I got to the next part, I pressed in the button here, and I went through the menu, and a couple of things that I found on the menu. One of them is the first thing I noticed is that it has a model. It says model, so for modeling light, built-in modeling light. Unusual for this kind of thing. So I pressed in the modeling light button, and I realized, I look good, don't I? It's amazing. Pressed in the modeling light button, and I realized it has 3 different positions for the modeling light. It has proportional, it has minimum power, or full power. So you can leave it on any one of those things. Everybody with me so far? Any questions? No? We're good? The next thing I noticed is that it has a head on-off button. So what that basically tells me is that in the head on-off position, that this has this remote built into it. So we literally took everything that this remote does, which normally sits on the top of a Profoto camera and controls all of our other lights, and now you have this built into it. And if I decide later on that I want to turn this off and just use it as a remote, I can do that as well. So instead of going out and purchasing this, now you can buy this, put this on the top of the camera, and control all your other lights. Also, what I can do is I can take this, put this on the top of the camera, and I can use this off camera and basically control it with this. So does that make sense, everybody? So I can control a multiple of these, and I can control lights in different groups. So that was pretty exciting to me. In addition to that, I found out, as I'm looking through this to try to figure it out, I realized it has something on the front of this that says Zoom, Auto, Manual. And basically what that is telling me is that the front of this piece zooms. And in a manual way, I could just turn it and zoom it myself, Or I can put it on the camera, put it on auto, and basically what will happen is as I zoom my lens in and out, it has a motor built into it that will allow you to zoom in and out. So now they've really solved my quality of light issue that I had. I mean, that was really, to me, a very, very big point. I went through the rest of it, and it also gives me the channel breakdown. It gives me the group breakdown. So you have 8 channels, and you basically can come in here, put in the channels. I'm sorry, it has 8 channels, and it has 6 groups. So what that means to you is that when I put this on camera, I can control a bunch of different lights in different groups. Clear to everybody? So I put this on camera, and I want to control a light over there. I want to use it with Profoto. I can. If I decide I want to use it by itself on camera, I can do that as well. So what you're doing is when you're getting into this, you're part of a system. The most important things to me with this unit is that it has natural, beautiful light. It's easy to use. I mean, anybody can use it, and you'll never miss a shot. Those are the things that matter to me. The speed of shooting with this one, as I started to shoot with it, I mean, as fast as my camera can shoot, the only thing that stopped this thing from shooting faster was that the camera went into a buffer. So it's 4 times faster than anything else on the market, and it gives you a beautiful quality light output. I don't know if where I can show this to you guys, but let me just, no, well, I'm going to show it over here. But one of the things that I want to show you is that as I turn this light, what you can see is it's giving me can you guys see that back there? So it's giving you a natural fall off of the light. So it's not just this harsh light coming across the top of it. What it's doing is it's giving you a natural fall off. And I can zoom that in and make it brighter, or I can pull it back and I can widen it. So it's just a natural, even light going across it, right? There's a whole bunch of other things that I found as I started to look through this. Let me turn off the modeling light first. One of the other things is when I opened up the kit, I realized in the top of this, it has a few really cool features. It comes with a dome, so you can put it on the top of this, and so you have that bounce look that you're going to get. It also comes with a wide-angle diffuser, and that wide-angle diffuser allows you to shoot with a 14mm lens. Or you can use a bounce, which allows you to spin this 360 degrees, and you can turn the head in any direction you want. Or the other cool part about this is because this is all these are all done with magnets, you can basically stack things on top of each other. So it literally is the easiest thing I've ever used. I don't have to worry that I'm fumbling for AA batteries. I don't have to worry that I have a charger sitting on the side. This lithium-ion battery, the connection pieces is all made to be the highest end, most professional unit that you'll ever use. But super important, it's easy to use. That's for me is one of the most important things. I'm not the brightest, so anything to make things easier for me is awesome. We also have a few other accessories. These are separate, and these aren't sold in the kit, but you can get what we call the Laura angle. If you guys remember Little House on the Prairie, it looks like a little bonnet that you would wear. But the beauty of this one is, as soon as I turn on the modeling light, I think you'll get a good idea. Let me see if I can get that on. No, I can't, because I probably have it turned off, but let's see. Oh, I do. I have it on the wrong one. So what happens is this is going to give you that natural, beautiful light, and it's awesome for portraits. So as the light bounces in here, it's just ideal, and it gives you that soft look, not that harsh look that you're used to seeing with on-camera flashes. You're going to see a beautiful, soft light. We also have, in addition to that, we have an actual filter kit. I think you get 3 or 4 filters in it, I'm not sure. And that filter kit also pops on the top of here. So, and you can stack something else on top of it. So you have color correction filters that will pop on here. Any questions? Any questions about what I've gone through so far? So one of the other things that I want to show you is how easy it is to use with another unit. First of all, I got to make sure I'm on the right channel. This says Group 3, and this is on Group 3, and it's on I'm sorry, Channel 3 and Group B. This is on Channel 3, Group C. So if I go over and I exit from the menu, and I go to Group C, and I press Group C, I'm able to control this light right from here in TTL or manual, which makes it super simple. So if I want to use this with another light and control it from here, I can. The other thing that we have, which is unusual for our lights, is that when you take a picture with this in TTL, which is completely automatic, right? It's going to give you this, it's going to give you a starting point for you. And maybe you want to switch it to manual, so then again, I can still control these lights in manual and control this in manual. What you do is something called exposure lock. So I take a photograph, and I take it in TTL, and I look at the exposure on the back of this, it will remain at the exposure that I just shot it on. Is that, everybody understand that? And then if I switch it to manual, it still remains on the exposure that I just shot it on. And so now I can adjust it right from here. I can go up tenths of a stop or down full stops. I can literally go in any direction I want and control the light right from here. Okay? So that is a pretty quick run through. I'm sorry they only gave me a short amount of time to explain this to you. But if you walk away with nothing else from this, the easiest light I've ever used, and like I said, totally simple, never miss a shot with it, and it gives you just natural, beautiful fall off of light, which are, for me, as a photographer, the two most important things about the flash, about the light. Good?
That was good. I
Good.
think. Now,
Okay.
what I want to say is, which is unfortunate for you people online, but hang out because we're going to go through everybody that's here. The proof is going to be in the pudding. So you guys take an opportunity to try this light and see. For you, special price.
It's half the price of a B2, but you don't know how much a B2 is. It's $9.95.
$9.95, not $9.95.
No, it's $995. For that system. Yep.
So
Lithium-ion battery.
give it a
remote
shot.
built-in.
See how you like it. That's why we're here, right?
Yep,
And
yeah.
we're gonna be doing more stuff at Profoto in the coming months too. So we'll bring it back every time we can. So you guys can definitely.
Yeah.
You can order them now, but they're not going to be here till November. So right around Thanksgiving time.
So the end of November, the beginning of
Yeah.
December, these will be delivered, and they'll be first come out. They're dedicated units for Nikon and Canon.
Yeah.
And they're, like I said, the end of November, beginning of December. Next year, into next year sometime, we'll be doing Sony and have one for Fuji, but it will be into next year sometime.
Cool. Okay. Thanks, Cliff.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, buddy.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to, because if I don't talk enough, they don't pay me, so I have to talk a little bit. So I'm just going to quickly run through the lighting scenarios that we're going to use here. So, and then you guys can get to shooting. So like I said, this is open shoot. So, come up, come forward. We're going to have two different lines. Take some photos of each of the models. Try not to go crazy. Don't spend an hour. There's obviously a lot of people here. Just be fair to everybody else. But let me show you what we've got set up. And I'm going to give you the settings for your camera. So you'll be set up to do it. And we'll give you some sample images to show you what they're going to look like. Dave's going to, we have Dave back. Last time I didn't have Dave, I was doing it myself. You remember I was running around like a maniac. So Dave's back. Welcome back, Dave. So Dave's going to, well, no, but I was shooting him by myself because you were running the multicam. Seth does a good job. Can we have a hand for Seth? There we go. Good. All right, good. All right, so we have Velson by popular demand in the back. So Velson's gonna. We decided, Velson's got like a good rugged look, or he sometimes looks like a little boy, depending on how we photograph you. So and we're gonna go for like a little bit of a harder light. So what I've got going on in the back over here. Can you see it if you use that camera? Or should I drop the? Okay, so in the back here, we actually have 3 lights going on. We're using the Profoto system. We've got the B2, which is their small pack, battery-powered pack with 2 heads in it. Each one of those heads is fitted with a grid. So remember, a grid narrows your beam of light, right? So we're basically giving just pockets of light on Velson. The one on camera right is lighting his face, giving him a hard light across his face, giving a lot of shape and shadow. The one behind him to the left is going to cut him out from the background a bit. And then we actually have a B1, which is a larger unit, on a stand back there, still battery powered, with a grid as well, but also with a blue gel on it to give like a little bit of color. So because we're using flash, we're setting our cameras at the fastest synchronization speed that you can set for your camera, which is around 200 or 250, depending on your camera. We're setting our ISO at 100. And then we're going to shoot at about 5.6. That's going to eliminate all the ambient light in the space, because you can see we have windows open back there. They're not going to affect our shot, right? What we're getting is a black frame if none of the flashes go off. Dave just took a picture there, you can see. So now when we turn the flashes on, we will get, and by the way, this is how it should always be. As soon as you set up your lights the first time, the first picture you take should be perfect. No, I'm kidding. We obviously set this up when you guys weren't here. So, I mean, I think sometimes people watch these things, they think that's the way when you watch a 2-minute video. It's like that it's just automatic. But remember, we took 10 minutes to set this up or whatever. So again, we got the lights set up in the back. Again, small light on the one side, giving him a light. He can work towards it. He can work away from it, play with those shadows. To his left, he's got a light cutting him out. And then we have that blue light behind him. So let's see what that looks like. Right? Moody, right? So we're in total control of this. Like, this is one of the cool things about this system is that if we wanted to adjust our exposure, let's say make the blue darker or lighter or whatever, we could easily do that because we're lighting in zones. We have 3 lights on him. One's the key light lighting the main part of his face. There's a separation light to the left, and then we've got the background light. All those are separate. we decided to shoot it this way. This is the way we like it. But you could have any variety of this. We could bring it up or down any way we want. He can work towards the light, away from the light. Really play with this. I think you get a lot of good, kind of emotion with this setup. And his position to the backlight. You can obviously have him step to the side or whatever if you don't want it so centered. Yeah, see, there he is. He's like, I'll come to you on a moonlit night. Right? Yeah. Right. So there he is, like, and his eyes are just like, huh. So even with the hard light, right, it still can create like a kind of a beautiful picture when you have Velson. Oh, there we go. And that's looking the opposite way. And you can see how that hard light, now he looks like a soul. Now he looks like the light's hitting hard. So, all right. Questions about this? That's pretty good, right? Okay, good. Yes. Is there a question? You look like you're making a face like you have a question. No, you're just talking about the settings. Okay. All right. In the front, we've got Layla, who is not from North Carolina. Right. So Layla is not from North Carolina. We're lighting her with the Profoto B1X, which is, again, a battery-powered light. And we're just using a simple umbrella in the center. This is a deep, medium-sized, which I think is 41 inches, deep umbrella. Okay? It's silver. So silver is going to create a bit of a punchy light. You're going to see that all the places on her face, that T-zone, as they call it, I'm talking about, ladies, where you put the blush and everything is going to shine because we have a specular light. We're working with highlight here. So everything's silver. We're popping this umbrella in. Below we have a small glow, which is the house brand. So I get 5 cents every time one of those. No, that's not true. Also silver, right? What's that? It's a 32-inch, right. So this is going to create kind of like a punchy-ish light that's going to have snappy highlights. So play around with that a bit. Right? We can see how the highlights are glowing. And that's because of the silver, Nice and simple. You can get in close. And you can see, I'm blowing it up so you can see there's still detail. People, by the way, models love it when you get really close to their skin like that. There's still detail in the highlight. We're not overexposing. We're using the specular highlight to create shape on her face. And if you wanted it to be more dramatic, well, you could pull the silver out too. You can play around with that maybe if Dave lets you. But yeah, we'll have nice silver fill. So because if you can see under her neck, you see the big shadow. That would be black if it wasn't for the silver reflector underneath. So. I like the reflector, but if you guys want to go to, I don't think you guys ever want to go more dramatic, so we'll leave the reflector in there. Questions about this one? I know I'm going kind of fast, by the way. Same settings, right? This is the power of Flash. We're able to choose how we want to set our camera and roll with it. So, right? Yeah. That's your settings. If you forget, they're going to be written here on the table. 100 ISO, shutter at 1/200th or 1/250, depending on your camera. You can set your white balance to flash or daylight, and both sets should be the same. Okay? Questions? No questions. Yeah, I think we'll sign off on the live stream because I don't think you guys want to watch these guys shoot. Maybe you do. I don't know. Do you guys want the live stream to watch you? They're all like, no. If you're watching the live stream down and you could get here quickly, get in the car and get here. So yeah, we'll be back. Actually, Adorama is closed for the next couple of Thursdays for holiday. But we'll be back on our Thursday live streams on I think the 19th of October. We're doing beauty photography. So if you guys watch the live streams, I'll catch you then. If you do follow my personal YouTube channel, I'll probably do something on Thursday because I'll be bored. I'll get set to come over and we'll do something funny. Yeah, we've been doing that, chilling at the studio. So be sure to subscribe to Adorama TV, buy a lot of stuff. My channel is Daniel Norton Photographer. Thank you, Seth. Dave is Dave. Yeah, we'll see you.